Good question. I mean, we all understand in recent time how businesses have been struggling. We are immune to that. I think a few edge is that we are internationally spread, so sometimes we're able to cushion the effect because we have, we're in Dubai, we're in UK, US, and we're opening door our office next month as well. So that has helped. And in recent time, I meet because I do one regular mentorship with younger business. Our foundations like our foundation, so provide grants and mentorship, support trainings regularly. And the pain point of most entrepreneurs is how do we scale? And when you look at this high rate of unemployment in Nigeria, we have seen that it's not government. It's already 60 years of this country, whether it was military or democracy, we can still see that the number of unemployment kept rising. And globally, government doesn't really provide jobs. It's always the private sector. So there's a need to intentionally invest in having more businesses, but not just that, because a lot of young Nigerians are starting businesses. Entrepreneurship is big in Nigeria, but these businesses are not scaling. Imagine we have 1 million businesses in Nigeria that do 1 billion naira in turnover every year. An average company that does at least 1 billion have almost directly and indirectly at least 50 employees. Right? Multiply that, that means 50 million people have jobs now. That in itself can literally eradicate unemployment in the country. So for me, I felt there was a need to begin to invest in helping to teach how people can scale. And also, expansion put pressure on me. People, "Oh, how did you do it? How are you? You're doing a $200 million real estate expansion in the US. How do you do such a thing? How do you start a business in Nigeria and then you're in different countries of the world?" So we felt, well, let's do a conference to share to some of what has worked for us and begin to start some level of that apprenticeship model, right? In a way, of course, not directly the Igbo, method, but this time around, your younger business, one is able to share. Oh, avoid this. Oh, try this. Oh, I need this contact here. Okay, call this person. Um, Try this. I just even before this interview, a gentleman I was able to link to Dr. Cosmos, who just publicly posted on social media to say thank you for the gift of access and linking me with this other person. So I realized gradually I'm like a bridge right between younger and young entrepreneurs and a lot of the older ones. And we need to really bridge that gap.
Right. So, this conference, who is the ideal participant for it? Is it designed for startups, established business owners, or specific industries?
So no specific industries. It's generally for entrepreneurs, sharing ideas. I mean, I was just commending him, for example, 29 years in media. It's not easy, right? So different businesses require, a lot of encouragement. And I've always argued that it's unfortunate that Nigeria and Nigerians haven't really taken businesses and deal with businesses the way we should deal with um, in many parts of the world, they understand that you cannot necessarily succeed at your first attempt at any business. That's why there is a lot of bankruptcy law that allow a business, if you're having challenge, to come to the court and say, well, for whatever reason, I'm not able to keep running this business. Okay, hand over everything about the business. And every debt, everything is assumed by the government. And you literally can go and start again. Most American billionaires, this is some of them second attempt of, before they now really succeed. Some thought, some fought, some even sixth attempt before the business now really grows. So we realize that across all sectors, people are struggling, and the solution will not necessarily come from government, right? Those of us who have figured out a way to keep thriving have to come together and encourage each other, to see how we can. Because when it comes to success, when particularly in entrepreneurship, it's not the destination, it's a journey. And at every phase, you constantly still need to keep learning and keep knowing.
So, what are the core financial principles that we covered during the conference?
Well, so we definitely want to encourage entrepreneurs to begin to focus on assets. Um, I think it's your media house when you go through Bagada, right? I will always remember that right. I think there was it times that used to also be Times headquarters. There used to be this. They were I don't know what's their name. They used to have an headquarters. You just see the brand logo along that Bagada too. And you see that a lot of companies like that, even in media, intentional picking media houses, that invested in real estate assets, even at some point when there were challenges, they were still able to figure out in a way. Sometimes you sell a few assets, makes a little money and try to rejig the business. So some of it is strategic entrepreneur that irrespective of the field you are in, you need to invest in real physical assets. Um, Number two is that you need to separate yourself from the business. Sometimes I struggle because people look at our company and feel your company is this big, but it's my company that is big. You know, I'm still a very modest lifestyle person, right? Because there's difference between the company I founded and me as a person, right? And these are things that oftentimes people don't work out in business. No separation between you, the founder, and the business, right? Everything is modular. You don't place yourself on a salary as a business owner. Sometimes we turn into sentiment. You involve all your family members and becomes family member enterprises, one man business. So we want to share, how do you begin to structure? How do you think of? I tell people, I say, it's the day you register your business, you should be thinking of your successor. Yeah. Succession planning is not when you are now 70, 80, and I say, well, at this point, who do we hand over to? No. You start grooming everybody as though you will hand over to them tomorrow, right? And invest in it.
So many entrepreneurs struggle with sustainable scaling. What are some common pitfalls business owners face when expanding, and how will this conference equip them with strategies to overcome these challenges?
Good question. Of course, when expanding, one of them is human. The quality of people in your organization. And in our part of the world, it's more complicated and complex because we currently have a message wrongly taught, which is go start your business. Oh, you can never be rich working for somebody. That is neither wrong or right in the sense that you don't need to start a business to eventually own it. We keep forgetting that many of the people that you call big name today, what really made them scale was not really the company they founded. I'll give you an example. Let's speak back, right? Was UBA founded by Tony Limelo? No. You see my point now. I mean, did Femi Otedola start First Bank? No. So we are forgetting certain other important principles that first of all you can even serve your way to eventually rising to the top of an organization. That's number one. We are forgetting to also teach that even if you're going to own your business in future, you might need to start under someone and pick up a few experiences here and there that then help you to scale. So we have situation whereby some employees are sabotaging the companies they are working for. You can literally enter some companies and you see the employees say, "Ah, don't mind them, they know they pay well, don't mind them." This one, and you're asking yourself, but even if they're not paying well, but you're still getting something, right? you are not necessarily putting the company in a position to now pay you well by bad mouthing her. So, but business owners also have this attitude of it's my business, right? You employ people, you can't trust them, you can't empower them, you can't develop them, right? You're not investing in training them. You just even this month alone, we have six of our employees sent to Dubai, all expense paid trip for a women leadership event with Mrs. Aoshika. Right in April, we're having almost 50 going to Doha. Right, investing in exposure, and so so you can see that it's both parties that has to really adjust. But it begins with you, the leader. And these are some of the things we want to look at. How do you really scale? Because I've shared it before. First staff we sent abroad, all expense paid trip, returned and became so arrogant. You know, give instruction, he won't obey, come late to work. Eventually, we gave him query. He resigned because apparently at that time, aside myself, the founder, he was the only one that has ever traveled out, and he already felt he was better than the rest of them. He returned back to. And then I said, well, that's a man. Men are not loyal. The second year was a woman, right? She came back and said she was going for a master's. The third year, I decided to send that year alone 50 people all expense paid through, and a good number of them are still in this company. So I learned there over time that it wasn't the strategy that was wrong. I probably just need to do more, right? Because some will go, some will remain. And also, what then happened is by the time after that third year, most people had traveled. So nobody came back feeling I'm better than the other guy in the office. And today is now normal. Most people have either traveled at some point, even if on their own couldn't have done it, right? The company has been helpful in helping many. So for us, those are examples of different type of things that companies can start doing to really help scale. You cannot be bigger than the quality of people that work in your organization. The company is as strong as the weakest employee in that company. So that is one thing. Not to take your time, but there's so many other ones we're going to be sharing. How do you raise funds? Right? How do you structure the organization so that people are willing to also invest in your organization? How do you become transparent with your approach to running business? Some people run business as if it's a secret cult, right? How do you leverage on marketing, media, right? Media engagement, and be intentional about showing people. Some companies, when they struggle, that they start calling media. In a 17 years, we've never done press conference over one PR crisis. you know, on our own, time to time, we engage, right? This is what we're doing. This is, even things that potentially can become crisis, we come out and do a press conference. Last press conference was, we had many people who bought land from us owing, right? And we knew if you don't pay us back, or we just go ahead and just announce and say, well, we're having to take back our land and we'll refund you. Somebody can start here and there and say, see them? So, okay, we have said it to the world ourselves. If you don't pay us what you are owing us, we can't keep the land for somebody that hasn't paid certain statutory funds. We will have to sell it to somebody else and refund your money. And these are the process if you want refund, and this is how long it's going to take. So that way, nobody can rush to the media and say, you don't understand. Forget them. This is the shady thing they are doing. We've told the world the shady thing we're doing. So these are some of the wisdom hopefully we're going to share more.
Is this on private sector businesses, or can public sector professionals, such as senior public servants, also benefit from the training?
Yes, absolutely. We don't think it's only those in the private sector that should come. We feel that the way we run business in Nigeria is a bit. I'm talking about public sector now. The way we run the public sector in Nigeria is archaic. The world has moved past that, right? US is also one of those countries that is, even though US is way better than Nigeria, but with the Dodge and what they are doing, you see that the public sector, even in the US, is about to change, really. You can see Elon Musk say everybody has to send a mail. What exactly are you doing? Right? But in Nigeria, it's even worse. You can literally go to a government parastatal 11 a.m. and they will tell you that the workers have not resumed. 11 a.m. Okay? And when you go to other developed countries, what do you notice in those countries? That, like UAE agencies, you finish in an agency, let's say you are registering your company, they will tell you to rate them. And the government appreciates, organize award every year to say this is the agency of government that the public said treated them well the most. That looks like a bank. If you, even some banks in Nigeria don't have a rating, you know, yes, process for people to even rate their performance. But you see that in many government agencies in some of these, countries, and Nigeria has to become like that. So we're hoping directors will come and say, "Hey, how do we begin to structure, our government agency like a business? How do we begin to train our, employees of our agency to start treating people?" I think of many states, you can argue with me. I think Lagos State, to be fair, has the highest number, and you can't argue why they also generate the largest GDP. Right? Many state governors are like God that you can access. You know what I'm talking about. Many commissioners have turned themselves to principality about without even understanding how things really work. You're supposed to be engaging. You're supposed to be willing to partner with the people. You are nobody without the people you govern, right? So we hope people in the public sector will come so we can learn, because it's a partnership to change this nation. Private sector must work with the public sector, with the government, to really make the country a great country.
Now, given Nigeria's current economic climate, do you believe businesses have the right environment to scale successfully? And what key policies should entrepreneurs pay attention to?
I think yes. My argument is that business, if you understand how entrepreneurship works, with our entrepreneurs, we're problem solvers. I mean, if you really cannot look for opportunities in challenges, then no call yourself an entrepreneur. Go and look for a job. The whole essence of entrepreneurship is making a way where there's no way. I remember our first, when we moved into real estate, 10 years ago was when we decided to start development aspect of real estate. Prior to that, we're into digital marketing, and then we also agencies, broker, realtor to other real estate developers. But 10 years ago, we decided, okay, we're going to start building, selling lands and building estates and all of that. I remember the first estate was somebody who had 250 acres and gave us 50 acres to sell. As we sell, we pay him back. Only to get to the place and it was all water. I couldn't even walk to where our own land starts from. It was pointing at three. I said your own land will start there, but you need to some field. And that was hundreds of millions we didn't have. Now on his own signage in front of his own estate, he had the survey of the place and I use map to say our own will start from here. So we'll take customer to my partner's estate, and on my partner's estate survey, I will now be pointing that you see from this map, this is where our own will start from. Or that tree, in front, that's where we start from. But you see, invest, don't worry, we soon have few. We soon, of course, when you looked at me and said your head is not correct, how can we buy water? Of course, today now we can fill that place with fencing. But that tells you what it means to do the impossible with the available. Because I remember while being frustrated at bringing people and they don't want to invest, that's what kept bringing in my mind. You must do the impossible with the available. That's what entrepreneurship is about.
Can you also talk about the conference? Is it going to hold in Lagos, Abuja, with the physical and virtual participation.
Yes, so the event is starting with Abuja on the 12th, Saturday 12th, and that will be physical in Ladi Kwali Hall. While on Saturday 13th in Abuja, that will be virtual. While the Lagos version will be 19th, the sister weekend 19th will be physical at Eco Hotel and Suites, and on the 20th it will be at it will be virtual. So the beautiful thing also is that technically it's a 4 day event for anyone registering. Because if you register for Abuja, you have access to the 2 day Abuja event plus plus virtual access to the Lagos event. If you register also for Lagos event, you attend all Lagos event and virtual access for Abuja events as well. And because there are different speakers each day, and so you're able to really so for us this is going to be the biggest business growth conference ever in the history of Nigeria, and we are hoping that this will be the catalyst for that massive shift in scaling of businesses, not in starting business because we already have a lot of people starting, but in understanding what is required to really scale the business.
Can you give us an insight into the structure of the conference? Is it going to be like a hands-on workshop, lecture style training, or a combination of different formats?
Okay, beautiful. So registration starts 8 a.m. For the Abuja one on the 12th, at Ladi Kwali, or I think it's now Abuja Continental Hotel now, right? And then we run down to 2 p.m. general class. Those who then, of course, are in the VIP will still have a late lunch plus mastermind. Mastermind is they will be with all the speakers and be able to ask questions and review a few things together. And then the second day, like we say, it starts in because it's Sunday. So the second day is then starting from 2 p.m. Of course, we start registering virtually online from 1 p.m. But 2 p.m. lecture starts till 7 p.m. the second day. So the same format for Lagos as well. But what we've also done is that we have a mentorship package that goes beyond the conference for everybody who comes for the conference, where we have courses and programs on business growth and other aspects of businesses, over 1,000 courses from myself, Grant Cardone, Les Brown, Jim Brown, every great um, mentors, business leaders, where you have that tool and that mentorship post the conference. So it's really holding you and seeing how we can help you beyond just that conference day.
For individuals and organizations interested in supporting or collaborating with the Stephen Akintayo Foundation, are there opportunities for partnerships and sponsorships?
Absolutely. So for the first time, we're open to sponsorship. We're going to be doing, I think, 20 billboards, 10 in Lagos, 10 in Abuja. We're doing radio adverts. We'll start running 2 weeks to the events. TV adverts. I think we're adding CNN adverts as well. So there's a huge campaign for the event that will help business owners get some visibilities. And we think the earlier they tidy that up, the better. So their logo can appear on all those campaigns. Um, but yes, and the quality of audience as well. This is going to, it's not just for anybody, it's for entrepreneurs. So that tells you that for you to even be an entrepreneur that can afford to be that, you're already a quality audience. And so for investors, for partners, you have the opportunity to really position your business, your brand in front of people who have capacity to really do business with you. So we're very much open to that. We're hoping that more people also will buy the corporate tickets, where you're buying tickets for your staff, 10 of you, 20 of you. Because again, most founders only think of themselves, and there's now a huge gap between the founder and those who work in the organization. Hence why the growth is not effective. So hoping to work with many media houses so that they too can even bring those who work with them as well for the event. And we're targeting some free tickets for NYC core members. So we feel what part of what we're getting from sponsorship will help go towards getting some core members that we're going to sponsor. Because it's good to start entrepreneurship early as well, right? And so they will be able to get, because typical core member cannot afford the cost of the conference. So they will be part of the beneficiary of what the sponsors are doing.
So you've already mentioned post-event mentorship.
Yeah.
About how else does the Stephen Akintayo Foundation ensure that the knowledge shared at the conference translates into real-world business growth for attendees?
Beautiful. I think one of the things we're doing is to create a community for all the attendees, right? Where you're able to leverage, they say your network determines your network. So where everybody will come is able to leverage on that community to also further build wealth. We're also creating the business council, which will be like a think tank to further begin to see how to help. And for us is that we're even creating leadership for each of those classes, so that beyond that day, even your cohort, because it's going to be an annual event, you can begin to put things together, support each other, which is a critical thing that entrepreneurship needs. It's high time we come together for positive reasons, for growth reasons, for collaboration reasons. There's just too much. Sometimes I look at the business world, there's just too much shark on shark, and the world is involved, right? Your real competition, who you thought is your competition is no longer your competition. For example, sometimes people tell me, how do you handle competition in real estate? And I say to them, my competitors are not other real estate developers. Other real estate developers were also trying to solve the same problem of 20 million housing deficit. Do I have capacity to build 20 million houses? No. My competitor is, who else are they spending money with if they are not putting it in real estate? And that's those who sell cars, right? Um, you understand what I'm saying now? There are several other sectors where people are putting money that they could have, huge funds that could have gone into real estate into. Those are really so it's there's a need to really awaken people to realize that the way you see things is not really the way you see it. Right? Those you are even saying are your competition with the day of AI. It's not your competition. This was my competitor. My AI has already collected all of his job. You are supposed to even collaborate to see how can we make sure our real competitor, which is AI, for example, does not take over food from all of us mouth. Then you are seeing the next person doing the same thing as you, and that's not true.
For entrepreneurs still contemplating whether to attend, what's your final message to them on why this conference is a must attend event?
Beautiful question. The same way you don't have a born doctor, so none of us here will allow a person to operate on them, right? Surgical operation. And then when you say, where's your medical license? Say, no, I was born a doctor. Nobody will agree. No one will agree that a born pilot should fly them anywhere. You say, where's your license? Say, no, I was born. I just knew how to fly. You will not enter that plane. There is no born entrepreneur, right? Yes, there are some skills and natural talent that aids entrepreneurship, but there is no such thing as a born entrepreneur. You ultimately have to learn, you have to evolve, you have to, and that's why you can't joke with the role of training. Like Yoruba will say, in the world of entrepreneurship, it is the knowledge you have that you use to fly. Because that word literally translates is what the bird eats that the birds use to fly. And it's the knowledge, the quality of knowledge that you have as an entrepreneur that sustains you in entrepreneurship. And most of this quality knowledge are not taught in MBA or Most of your lecturers that taught you business administration don't even have a successful business of their own. So you have to learn most of these things informally, from those who are already succeeding in business, and picking that lesson from that and say, hey, I heard Dr. Sibi did this when he had this challenge. Maybe I should try it myself, and that's really how to evolve.